Okay, welcome to this new video. Together, let's understand why CSR plastic credits are promising assets to own in an emerging global market. So far, you understood that with CORSAIR Connect, you as a passive customer can purchase a package to ask CORSAIR to go out and recycle plastic waste from the environment so that it does not end up in the sea and in the rivers. In return of what, you will receive your own plastic credits. And the question here we want to answer in this short video is, what is the potential value of this asset and why it is interesting today to join CORSAIR Connect? So first of all, what are plastic credits? The definition is simple. A plastic credit represents the verified collection and proper processing of a certain amount of plastic waste that would otherwise pollute the environment. It allows companies or individuals to compensate for their plastic footprint by financing waste recovery. It's very similar to the concept of carbon credits, but this time for plastic pollution. Wonderful. So now let's talk about the CSR plastic credit, which is the one created by the CORSAIR Group. In 2021, CORSAIR introduced the CSR plastic credits, enabling both businesses and individuals to achieve plastic neutrality and to reach net zero plastic impact. The CSR plastic credits are globally recognized environmental certificates that verify the removal of 100 grams of plastic waste from the environment. It is verified by external auditors. It is tracked via the blockchain for full transparency and security, and it's backed by the CORSAIR factories and contributor network. You can learn more about this on the CORSAIRgroup.com website on the tab CSR Plastic Credit. Wonderful. So why are these CSR plastic credits high potential assets? First reason, the plastic waste crisis is getting worse every day. Now, it was decided at a global scale that the brands are responsible for the waste generated. That is called the Extended Producer Responsibility, which is a global framework which has already been decided across the world that the one responsible for managing this waste is the brand which has sold it to the final customer. Now, how to make brands responsible for the waste that they create? Well, plastic credits are a mechanism, in my opinion, the best mechanism for corporate social responsibility, which is CSR, which is the name of our plastic credit. So that's really what we're talking about. We're talking about helping brands and companies take responsibility for the waste that they've created. Now, why do we believe that plastic credits are the chosen solution? First, the plastic credits get a bond for $100 million in January 2024 by the World Bank. The World Bank launches a $100 million plastic waste reduction linked bond to finance community recycling projects. So if the World Bank, who was a major actor in the carbon credits, is now pushing for plastic credits to get financed, it is because it is the global solution that will be pushed. Now, second reason, carbon credits are the established precedent. It's not the first time in the world that a credit is pushed for corporations to help with the pollution that they create. With the carbon emissions that have unfolded with the global warming agenda for the last 15 years, carbon credits have been used, widely used, to help companies offset their pollution. Now, the good news is that when there is such an established precedent, the regulators, but also the companies, are already used to offset credits. When I have been speaking to companies within the context of this project, they have all told me, oh, it's like the carbon credits. Yes, it is. So it's very important. Not only we have a market that have emerged, but people and companies already know how it works. Now, let's look at the size of this carbon credit market. This article from Reuters is telling us that the value of traded global markets for carbon dioxide permits, which is carbon credits, reached a record $948 billion in 2023. That's almost $1 trillion of traded value. It's an enormous market. Now, what about the value of one carbon credit? There are different types of carbon credits. If we look at the regulated one on the European Union, it's called EU carbon permits. You can see the graph here. It's taking its time to get established and regulators and companies to understand how it works. And then because of limited supply and a global demand, the value went up from a few euros per ton around 2017 to 82 up to 105 euros per ton in the recent years. My commentary, the carbon credits took years to reach maturity through regulations and became a quasi-trillion-dollar market. The plastic credits follow in their footsteps, using the precedent now established. And due to the technical requirements to recycle plastic waste, an even greater scarcity is expected. Because, yes, it is much harder to recycle plastic waste than to plant forest, for example. So we expect that there will be more demand for less supply of credits. Thanks to that, the projections, which are coming from the experts in the market, are talking about an expected market price for a plastic credit around 30 to 50 cents of a dollar per credit before global regulations hit, and then we will see even higher levels. So that's what the market is aiming for the value of one CSR plastic credit, 30 to 50 cents per unit. Now, every week you get a different offer with CORSAIR Connect. So ask your CORSAIR Connect partner, what is the offer this week? And one thing that I would like to really make sure everyone hears is that we are not here for a short-term game. This is taking a position on an emerging market. It may take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years before the big surge happens. So we are here to take a position on the mid-term to long-term. It's very important. Now, third reason is that CORSAIR's CSR plastic credit is positioned today to be the leading plastic credit in the world tomorrow. The global leaders of this next trillion-dollar market are already emerging today, and we see them, they are our competition and ourselves. Now, what is unique about us compared to the competition? Well, number one, the CSR plastic credits from CORSAIR are the only publicly available and tradable plastic credits in the world. It's not the case for any of our competitors. No transparency. Second, we put it on the blockchain to have complete transparency so that everybody can see the numbers, and security so that we avoid issues of double counting and fake plastic credits. And that is guaranteed by the blockchain and external audits. Next reason, we are now one of the world's largest volume of plastic collected and recycled and recorded in a plastic credit system. It just came out recently that in the Vera ecosystem, one of our competitors, they were at about the equivalent of 5 billion credits, and the CORSAIR ecosystem is already at the equivalent of 10 billion credits. So roughly, it seems that we are already 2 times larger in amounts of plastic waste than the nearest competitor. And last reason, this is the only plastic credit which is created by an industrial recycler, which is involved in the collection and recycling of waste. Our other competitors, they don't have factories, they don't do the job. They just provide a system for other companies to create their credit. This is unique about CORSAIR Group. Wonderful. So today we can already find brands in shops and in supermarkets which bear the logo CSR 26 plastic credit on packaging. You can see it on the image. You can see that all over Europe and Southeast Asia. And with that, CORSAIR is perfectly positioned to take advantage of new international legislation governing packaging and plastic neutrality, because this too is becoming slowly mandatory. That's what we have seen with carbon neutrality. Great. So in conclusion, thank you so much for bearing with me in this presentation. Joining CORSAIR Connect today is about one, having a great impact immediately by collecting and recycling a lot of plastic waste from the environment, and two, receiving your own plastic credits for the plastic you cleaned up with CORSAIR at a preferential price. So really don't miss the opportunity of a lifetime, because the emergence of the plastic credit market is only going to happen once. So ask your CORSAIR Connect partner today for the current offer and get started with us. Thank you so much.